Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to Astrology with Georgie. In this video we're going to be discussing the upcoming new moon in the sign of Leo, what it means and what it means for your sign. So before we get into it, I do personal readings. If you would like your chart read, I do a variety of readings for a variety of budgets. You can take a look at the information that is linked. If you get some value from this video, please give the video a thumbs up, guys, and drop a comment, as this helps push the video out to those of you or for those that need the video. So that would be really, really helpful, and I really appreciate the effort that you go to do that. So thank you so much. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome to the channel. I'm Georgie. I'm in the UK. I'm a Western astrologer, so we use the tropical zodiac, and I do work in whole sign houses. If you are a Plastis user, that is absolutely fine. You just may need to listen to more than one rising sign and work out where 2 degrees of Leo is in your personal chart. So new moons, I'm quite proud of myself, guys, because I'm filming this quite a few days before the new moon. So I haven't left it to the last minute before, to the point where I have no energy on a new moon to film. So the new moon is happening on the 24th of July, recording this on the 17th, but you may start to kind of feel what this is, and you're starting to kind of go down into this energy in the days leading up to it. So the new moon is the start of the lunar cycle. So as we're heading towards the new moon, we're actually in the balsamic moon phase. So this is where we are shedding, we're releasing patterns and behaviors and things from our lives that no longer serve us, that are no longer required. This can feel a bit more relevant at this time, actually, because Mars is conjunct the South Node. So this is quite literally about releasing patterns of behavior that no longer serve us. And as we're heading down into the new moon, we're feeling tired, we're feeling drained. Some people might actually be unwell. The sun is our vitality. And so it's not quite in Leo. It's not quite in Leo yet. So as we're kind of coming into the sign where the sun is the most happiest, we're at the end of Cancer season. People are feeling very sensitive. I know a lot of people that aren't well at the moment. But don't worry. The sun is about to move into the sign that it rules, the sign that it's happiest in. Leos are getting ready to shine their light. But even though it is Leo season, because it's a new moon, we are still going to be feeling tired. Like we don't have much energy, we're sleeping more. And new moons typically are a time of introspection, a time of thinking, okay, what do I want to start now? Because this is the start of a brand new cycle in the Leo section of your chart. Now, collectively, the Leo energy, so Leo is connected to royalty, celebrities. It's where we shine. It is creativity. It's connected to our pride and our ego. It's really what we are creating, what gets us going. What is it how can we have fun? How can we tap into that inner child? Leo is about the inner child. Leo has a connection to themes to do with children as well. It's how we're having fun. It's also our love, our romance and flirtation. Okay, so all of these themes could be relevant in some way. Now, the new moon itself is happening at 2 degrees. This is a Taurus degree. So there's themes around stability, finance, wanting to create something that brings us stability, wanting to create something that has lasting effects. Leo is a fixed sign as well. It's all about kind of staying, going the distance and sticking to what we know. Taurus is the same. So Taurus degree is those themes of stability, income, resources, banking, agriculture, food. All of that can kind of be relevant in some way. Like I said, the sun is in its own sign, so it's very happy here. It's able to shine. It's able to get creative. It's able to step into its limelight. And this new moon can be asking you to remember what it is that lights you up. What brings you joy? How can you have fun? How can you tap into that creative inner child? How can you go and do something to connect to your inner child? Go and do something really childish. Go roller skating, go and play basketball, go on a bouncy castle. All of these things are Leo energy, because it's doing the things that sometimes as adults we don't actually do anymore, but that bring us joy. So maybe not under the new moon energy, because you might be a bit tired, but the days after, just go and do something fun. Go and get creative. Go and do some, go into a paint and brush class, something like that that's creative and fun at the same time. Now, The new moon itself, so this is a very interesting new moon because the new moon is actually making aspects to all of the outer planets, which is unusual because they've all recently, obviously this year, changed signs. So it's quite interesting and insightful, the fact that the new moon is making aspects to all of the outer planets. So I think this is a very, very important new moon for everyone because of that reason. Because Uranus has now moved into Gemini, okay? This is new ideas, fresh ideas. This is living unconventionally, breaking free from the status quo, doing what is not expected of us, and having light bulb moments and insights. New moon in Leo is about getting creative. Sextiling Uranus in Gemini, you've got a creative idea coming to you. You're being encouraged to break free from what you'd usually do. Strive for independence in some way, or strive for authenticity. And interestingly, especially because Mercury retrograde is happening in Leo at the moment, we are being encouraged to come from a place of authenticity rather than a place of pride and ego, because those are the lower vibrations of the Leo energy. It's pride, it's ego, it's wanting attention and doing things for attention. But actually, we need to understand that we can come from a place and we can give ourselves our own light. We can shine our own light, but we can do it because we're having fun and we're enjoying it, not because we want attention from other people. Now, the trine to Saturn and Neptune, both Saturn and Neptune, which are both retrograding in Aries, new moon trine Saturn, you are being asked to take responsibility about something. You are being encouraged to take the next steps, have a plan in place. A plan is essential, but the trine to Neptune is like, you can dream big, you can do this. But what are your steps and how are you going to get there? So there's a lot of support here from the outer planets. The only tricky aspect that we do have to this is the opposition to Pluto. Pluto in Aquarius, this is about other people, groups of people. Pluto is the planet of control. It's the planet associated with transformation. So with the opposition, it's like you're wanting to start something, but maybe something's coming up against you. Maybe somebody is coming up against you. Maybe some authority figure. Maybe somebody's forcing you to do something, or you're feeling some pressure around this new beginning from another party in some way. There can be a power struggle, there can be an ego struggle, there can be an element of force or control forced upon you around this. So it could be that you get, for example, say you're going for a new job, you have an interview, this could be what the new beginning is, but there are some elements to the job that some compromises that you have to make, and you've got an authority figure saying, well, you're going to have to work these hours, and it's not quite something that sits too well with you. So you've got to decide whether you're going to make a compromise, whether this new beginning sits authentically with what you're trying to create, or whether it's not right for you. And so that's where the tension comes in. You're going to have to just have a moment and think, okay, is this what I want it to be? Is this how I want to shine? And you've got that element of just having to make an adjustment there. And there's a bit of pressure here from Pluto, a bit of a power struggle, and a bit of another party having some say in some way. So this is really going to obviously look different for everyone. But it's usually just something to work through with an opposition. Now, this is happening in the first decan of Leo, which is connected to the 5 of Wands or 5 of Fire tarot card in astrology, in tarot. I'm going to read you the positive affirmation associated with this card. So it says, creative brainstorming, unity in diversity, and honouring differences, which I think is very relevant with the opposition to Pluto, because 5s can be where we're a little bit stuck. So in order to move forward, it could be that you have to make an adjustment, you have to make a compromise. Like it says, honouring differences, coming together and realising that people are different, and there's that compromise. And then you've got the support from the other outer planets encouraging you and saying, okay, you can do this, but there might need to be some sort of compromise. I have the freedom to explore the ideas that seem the most far-fetched. What seems crazy today proves tomorrow to be brilliant. Like a child willing to stretch her imagination when a new playmate comes into the garden, I open to new people and new ideas. Intrigued by what is novel and unfamiliar, this is a time for what is counterintuitive, for appreciating the ideas from out in left field and what they might offer. So it's really encouraging you to be open to new ideas. reach outside that comfort zone, which can be difficult with a Taurus degree and a Leo new moon, because Leos, they want to be in charge. They want to be the creator. You're being encouraged by this because obviously the sun is here. The sun and the moon are together. So it's like what you want, the sun, and how you feel are in harmony. So they're working together. But the opposition to Pluto is like, is what's bringing in that tense aspect of, okay, but there is what you want and how you feel, fine. You've got an opportunity coming, but there's an adjustment that needs to be made. And with the 5, it's like you're stuck, so you're going to have to make some sort of compromise or be open to something new. But at the same time, don't dim your light, because this is Leo and you are being encouraged to shine and sparkle. Interestingly, because Mercury retrograde is here now, it's a sign-based conjunction because Mercury is here, but it's a little bit wide. It's at 13 degrees, so it's like what, 11 degrees away. So it's a bit wide to be a conjunction. However, it is relevant that Mercury is retrograding in this same sign because you're reworking something about how you create, about where you come from, about what your passions are, and obviously wherever you have Leo in your chart, you're rethinking or you're reworking something in this section. So the new moon is tying into this. Perhaps the new beginning can't start until the Mercury retrograde is over, 10th of August. Excuse me. Perhaps part of the rethinking is that something new is coming. And it's making the Mercury retrograde even more relevant because you've then got this new moon coming in, signaling a new beginning of something. But it might not be until after the retrograde is over that you see the progress of this, because retrogrades can hinder our progress because we're reworking something. We can't always move forward, so it might just be that something's brewing and you don't know quite what that is until the retrograde's over, or things will eventually get worked out after the retrograde, 10th of August onwards. There is a bit of a shadow phase, but the Mercury retrograde actually finishes on the 10th of August. If you haven't watched my Mercury retrograde video, it's the video before this, you can go and watch it. So those are the aspects to the new moon. Have I mentioned mostly what I want to say about that? Typically I think this is quite, like I said, an important new moon, a positive new moon, although the challenge to Pluto, yes, but because of the aspects with all the other outer planets, you have got a lot of support here. So I would focus mainly on that and focus on the fact that something new is beginning, and it's quite important. And there's a lot of fire energy here. So it's fire and air energy. You know, even Pluto and Aquarius, we've got Uranus and Gemini. So this is what we're creating, and new ideas and new beginnings and putting those ideas into action. So positive new moon. You will see this unfold over 6 months. So you will either see something happen within 2 weeks. Then we'll have the full moon in Aquarius in 2 weeks' time. Or you will then see this unfold within 6 months when we have the full moon in Leo in 6 months' time, when the sun is in Aquarius. I know that feels like a long way away, but there's often a correlation between the new moon in the same sign and then the full moon in that same sign. So we're going to run through the signs now. We're going to start at Aries and we're going to run through to Pisces. That is the natural zodiacal order. Please listen to your rising sign. That's going to be the most accurate and the most literal, but your sun will also be very relevant. It's your sun. You can listen to your moon as well and put them all together, as the moon might also be relevant as it is a new moon. Don't forget, I do readings, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this as you're listening, as you're going throughout the video. And if you don't make it to the end, then thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. So Aries and Aries rising, this new moon is happening for you in your 5th house. Now, of course, you're doing some rethinking at the moment in this section of your chart, and therefore a new beginning is going to arrive for you in the sign of Leo. So this is about possibly, it could have topics to do with love, so it could be a new relationship, or because of the retrograde, it could be that you're actually saying goodbye to a relationship, or you're rethinking a relationship of some kind. You could be doing some relationship rethinking. Do I want to date this person? Is this person right for me? And the new moon is going to signal a goodbye or the start of a new relationship cycle for you. That's definitely possible for some of you. Maybe you're setting your boundaries. Maybe you are sticking up for yourself. Maybe if you're already in a relationship, there's, maybe you and your partner are doing something creative or doing something fun, or you're going on a date. But it's after having to have those difficult conversations that this new beginning will take place. It could be that you are starting a new creative project, although I would advise you to wait until after the retrograde is over. Although if you can't wait, that's fine, but just know that you may have to rework something. If you launch something now, then you're going to have to rework something. For example, I started this YouTube channel during a Mercury retrograde. I changed the name of it a couple of months after I started it. Not a big deal. The fifth house is connected to our business. So again, it's kind of the same as what we're creating, but you may be thinking, okay, I want to start a new business, especially as Saturn and Neptune have now moved into your first house. You're taking responsibility, you're working on your boundaries, you're changing as a person, and your identity is changing in some way. Especially Saturn and Neptune are also retrograding in your first house. So you are internalizing this energy and you're rethinking things about your identity and who you are as a person. The new moon in the fifth house could link towards something that you're creating. So you could think, right, I think I'm going to start my own business, and you could be getting really creative with that. Fifth house is also our children. So a new beginning for your child is very possible. If you have a child, perhaps they are starting a new beginning, an important new beginning. Some things need tying up with the Mercury retrograde, and then the new beginning may come within the next 6 months. It could be topics around children. If it's not an actual child, conversations around children, and something is brewing here. Maybe the idea of having children. With the Mercury retrograde here, I don't want to say it's going to be like a pregnancy. It's more like probably a conversation, or the topics of children are coming up. Or you're having so for example, if you are pregnant, maybe you're having to have an appointment or something for your pregnancy. That's also possible. Now, with the opposition to Pluto, I want to say that there's a tension here. So any of the things I've just mentioned, there's tension from an opposition. So it could be that your child's starting a new beginning and something is making you feel uncomfortable about it. Maybe your goals, maybe that's not what you want for them just yet. Maybe you're not ready for them to go to school. All of those things can kind of come up. Could be that whatever you're creating, there's tension from other people, tension from the internet, tension from groups of friends. There could be an outside influence that you're having to work through in whatever it is that you're creating. You're feeling like you want to have control over your child, or there's some control elements around this new beginning for them that's actually not to do with you. But so, for example, if they're starting school and you're not ready for it, you have no control over this. It's the government that says they have to start school. Those kind of things. There's an outside influence, and you're feeling pressured around this new beginning. There's like a bit of pressure here. However, everything's going to be okay because you've got the support from the outer planets. And in terms of like the love, the romance side of this, whatever. So for example, if you're rethinking a relationship, perhaps the other person doesn't want it to end, and so you're having to have those difficult conversations, or you're having a bit of pressure from them. Or if you're in a relationship, you're having to have a conversation or sort something out. There's a bit of pressure from the outside source in some way. So you'll have to let me know, Aries, your thoughts on this. Does any of that resonate? And I'll see you in the next video. Taurus and Taurus rising, you are experiencing this new moon in your fourth house. This is your family. This is your home environment, your ancestry. This is your inner emotions. It's your roots. So a new beginning within the home. Sorry, I've got an itch. Starting something within the home, starting a creative project. You could decide that you want to decorate. You could decide that you're rethinking your living space in some way. Maybe you're rethinking who lives with you. You're rethinking, do I want my housemate here? Do I want to rearrange this bedroom? Do I want to decorate? The rethinking is coming from the Mercury retrograde, and then the new moon is going to start something from the 24th onwards, a new beginning, and it might unfold over the next 6 months. There could be that your changes to you working from home with the opposition to Pluto in your 10th, changes to do with your career are affecting how much you're working at home, or affecting who lives in your home, or things to do with your home environment and your work is possible. But this could also have something to do with family members. So a new beginning for your parents that's requiring some attention or some pressure from an outside source in some way. This is also your inner emotions. So what do I want to create? What really sparks me up? What really lights me up internally? What do I want to create? And that could be the Mercury retrograde. What makes me happy? What makes me feel safe? And there's some pressure from your career, especially if it's, creative, if you run your own business, for example. What do I want to create? But there's pressure. Okay, well, I need to create this from, a boss is putting pressure on you, or the fact that you run a business is putting pressure on you in some way. But don't forget, you've got support from the outer planets encouraging this new beginning and bringing a new creative space for you. You could also be meeting up with like family members that you've not seen for a while, because the Mercury retrograde is here. You're meeting up with old family members. But the opposition to Pluto is like, I don't know, maybe you don't get on with them, or maybe there's a family member that is a little bit bossy, or having an influence over this meeting in some way is possible. So mostly for you guys, it's home related, it's family related. Also topics to do with ancestry in the past can come up, especially with the Mercury retrograde, looking through old photos, speaking about the past, hearing about the past, that kind of stuff. I've just realized I haven't done a tarot card for Aries, so sorry guys, I think we'll just have to, I'm going to do one for Taurus, and then if any Aries happen to be watching this Taurus video, we won't tell them. But if you are an Aries and you're watching this, then I'll just do you a quick card. So this one is for Taurus. You guys get the Emperor, number 4. This is a major arcana card. Let me just show you, because that is a very strong strength, authenticity. This is the word that keeps coming up, especially with this Mercury retrograde in Leo. Following the rules right now is exactly what I should be doing. People in authority come to my aid and give me good advice when I ask for it. I can have the strong confidence that this card suggests. Dealing with institutions like banks, governments, or schools are also highlighted at this time. That's so interesting with Pluto in your 10th house, because it is like the 10th house is authority, it's institutions. So it can be like banks, governments, police, your boss having an influence on you. So, but it's saying that they can help you at this time, so they can advise you. So that is a very interesting card that's come up there, Taurus. So take that if it resonates. Now I'm just going to pull a card for Aries, just in case any Aries are watching this section. Okay, Aries, you guys get the 5 of Earth. Interesting, because this is to do with your finances. Let me just skip back to Aries. So you guys have the full moon in your 5th house of creativity, but you get the 5 of Earth, which is alternative forms of abundance, the illusion of lack and overlooked treasures. So all is not as it seems, so this is a time to look again. A change in perception can bring into focus the results I sought, just in a different form than expected. I am called to move away from poverty consciousness and open my eyes to treasures before me that are illuminated suddenly. The illusion of wealth gives way to true abundance. There is no need to fear that the rug will be pulled out from under me. What we draw attention to grows, so I count my blessings and realise I have far more than I thought. I've come far in my quest for building up what I need, and even more opportunities for experiencing abundance await. So that's just reminding you, apply that to your love life, your creativity, your children. You have far more than what you think you have, and you need to focus on the good rather than the bad. So I hope that helps, Aries, and thank you, Taurus, also for watching yours. Gemini and Gemini rising, you guys are experiencing this new moon in Leo in your 3rd house. Okay, this is the house, the chock-a-block house, that just has loads of different stuff attached to it. So this can manifest as many different things. Mainly this is our thinking, our beliefs, our what we're learning, and our mindset. So a lot of the time it's like, okay, what are my thoughts about this, especially with the opposition to Pluto in the 9th. A new beginning for you around the way that you think, around your mindset. And Pluto is encouraging you to think bigger, think outside the box. You may be influenced by a teacher, by someone trying to impose information on you. And you could be rethinking, okay, is this how I think? Is this how I want to move forward? Is this what I want to learn? And somebody's influencing you in some way. This could also be something to do with your siblings, a conversation with your siblings, maybe an argument or difficulties. Be careful of dramatic conversations with those around you. This is your siblings, your cousins, your relatives, having an important conversation, especially with people from the past, maybe siblings you've not seen for a while, having to arrange something, and there's some tension, there's some organisation stuff that you have to kind of overcome. Third house is also our neighborhood. So this could be a new beginning for you in your local neighborhood, but you're rethinking something. Maybe you're rethinking where you live. You're rethinking a move. You're rethinking, do I want to live here? There can be some pressures from some legal matters or just pressure of, okay, but is it possible to move here? That kind of stuff. Third house is our car. So you could have difficulties with your car. You could get pulled over for speeding, opposition to Pluto in the ninth of legal matters, pulled over for speeding or being on your phone, something simple like that. Having to have new tires, having to do, you've got your MOT, and you're having to just the annoyance of having to like do your MOT and your service, and that kind of stuff can happen with travel, or just a new beginning for how you get around your errands and how you get to work here and there and everywhere. There can be a new beginning starting for you there. What else do I want to say about that? Or you're deciding that you want to learn, like I said, like you want to learn something new. Perhaps you want to study something and you're taking your higher education more seriously, but you've got to put a bit more effort in with the opposition to Pluto. So it's a bit of a mumble jumble house, that one. Okay, you guys get the 6th of Earth, another Earth card, 6 of Earth. So let's read the positive affirmation. Unexpected resources, happy surprises and generosity. What I have sent forth in love comes back to me many times over as the generosity of others becomes apparent and unexpected resources show up. The universe is exhibiting its generosity, reminding me that the world is full of pleasant surprises. Inside the pretty package is tangible aid, a gift from spirit. Just when I was beginning to doubt, I'm reminded of the treasures I am entitled to receive that show up at my door. What will I unwrap today? Excuse me, that's really positive then. So this could be, because the third house is our social connections and our siblings, maybe somebody's helping you with something, organising something for you. That's definitely possible. So let me know, Gemini, your thoughts on that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cancer and Cancer rising, you are experiencing this new moon in Leo in your 2nd house of money, finances, self-worth, and what it is that you value. Because this is in the sign of Leo, a lot of this is thinking about, what's important to me. How can I lead with my heart? How can I make money from heart-led activities? Maybe you're getting creative, but there's pressure on you from another source. So maybe there's a new opportunity for earning, but someone's telling you what to do, someone's telling you how to earn, someone's telling you how to get creative, or you've got a boss telling you, okay, well, this is a job opportunity, but we need you this, we need you this day, and so you've got a bit of pressure from an authority figure or somebody that wants to kind of have power over your finances in some way. This could also be an element of paying stuff off, and there's a push and a pull between what you owe and what you want to pay. So for example, I can give you a really good example of this. I am a Cancer rising. At the moment, I'm in a bit of an argument with my energy company because they think I owe them money, even though they made a mistake. So we are doing a lot of toing and froing around finances. So I think for me, this is where that's going to come in, where they're going to want me to pay something, or we're going to have to come to a compromise, and the retrograde is going to help the compromise happen. But the new beginning could be that I have to, they're making me pay something, possibly not with the help from the outer planets, but we'll see how it goes. But there's just added pressure. So for Cancer, this is financial, but it's having to work through something to do with joint finances, or this is about your values and your self-worth. You thinking, okay, well, I'm going to start charging higher because I'm worth more, and it can feel a bit uncomfortable because as you're transforming, you're going through this transformation with Pluto in your 8th house. What am I worth? What is my self-worth? How do I value myself? What's important to me about the way I make money? And all of these themes can come up under this new moon, and you're going to see this unfold over the next 6 months, where perhaps you're reevaluating your worth, and actually maybe it does mean that you're starting a new career. Maybe it does mean that you're working on your limiting beliefs around money, because you're going through a transformation and it doesn't always feel comfortable. You guys get the 9 of air. I don't know if I like this card. Air cards are a little bit more challenging, but I'm going to read you the positive affirmation. We always think positively with these oracle cards. Shifting negative self-talk to self-compassion, from fear to possibility, a call to faith. With a gentle, mellifluous voice, I tell myself that I will be okay, that I am okay, and that any fear is merely false evidence appearing as real. I forgive myself because I know I'm a human trying the best I can and need only call on spirit to remember that I can and will do better as new possibilities begin to gather on my horizon. Okay, so that's just kind of reminding you to not be too hard on yourself in terms of your thoughts and trying to think more positively and not coming from a place of fear, which can happen in the 8th house. So let me know your thoughts on this, Cancer. Of course, you've got Jupiter in your sign at the moment, so that is going to be bringing you blessings, hopefully. So let me know your thoughts and I'll see you in the next video. Leo, this new moon is all about you. You are beginning something new. You are starting something new. You are coming into your season where you are going to start feeling a little bit better. It's been Cancer season, which isn't comfortable for you. It's your 12th house of healing, pain, self-undoing, all of that kind of stuff. As the sun moves into your first house, you're going to be feeling a bit more positive. New moon in your sign is suggesting a new beginning for your identity, for how you show up, for your life direction, for your appearance. But you're also rethinking something about your life at the moment. And with the opposition to Pluto, you're having, and bearing in mind, you had the Mars retrograde here. It was also opposing Pluto. There's been a lot going on maybe for you and other people in some way. Now, the new beginning for you, you still have to work through something with your partnerships. Somebody can be applying pressure to you. Somebody can be taking control over you. There could be a power struggle here. It could be a partner, a parent, a child, a business partner, a therapist. Someone is applying pressure to you and wanting to take control over you. And you're doing a lot of rethinking at the moment. But there's something new is starting, and it's trining Saturn and Neptune in your 9th. So you have got faith. You are calling on your faith. You are thinking of the bigger picture. You are focusing on the bigger picture, and you are having to focus on the bigger picture in some way because your light is coming back. Your light is coming back with the new moon in Leo, but there's a lot of rethinking at the moment, and you're reworking something. Now, for some of you, it could simply be that there is a new beginning for your appearance, for how you show up. But Uranus has now moved into your 11th house and it's sextiling this. So this is your goal. So this new beginning can be, okay, breakthroughs in how I'm achieving my goals, breakthroughs in how I'm moving, changes to my friendships, changes to my beliefs. There's a lot of change going on at the moment. But these signs are actually in a harmonious aspect to you because it's fire and air. You're just dealing with the opposition and you're dealing with other people trying to have some sort of power over you. So you just got to push through that and just know that over the next 6 months, you are going to blossom into something bigger and better, okay? Because this is a positive new moon. And I feel like you guys have been through a lot with the North Node in the 8th house here. You know, you have got the North Node in the 8th house, and that's not always easy. So there are transformations taking place. But it's all going to come good, okay? You get the Star, it's the Major Arcana card. Okay, I'm going to read you the positive affirmation. Okay, inspiration. I am hopeful and inspired by life right now. And everything that is happening points to a renewed sense of encouragement. See, it's just what I said. After all the changes I have experienced, I'm starting to recognize the hope that comes with new beginnings. See, did I not tell you guys? Positivity is on the horizon. You just got to push through this retrograde and things will start to feel easier. So let me know, Leo, your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Virgo and Virgo rising, you are doing this new moon in your 12th house in the sign of Leo. So this is more introspective. This is the quiet part. This is our subconscious, our dreams, where we're sleeping. This is where we heal, and it's the house of spirituality. It's spiritual places. So whether it be any spiritual activities you do, so this is yoga, meditation, retreats. This is the place of worship. So if you go to church, anything like that can show up here. This is also the hospitals and clinics. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm always burping when I'm doing this, guys, because I'm channeling this information. So I do apologize if you always watch this and you think, gosh, she's always excusing herself. It just always makes me burp. So new moon in the 12th house. There's something starting here. Now, it can be a new subconscious pattern emerging. So and if this is the case, it's not always that obvious. Something new beginning with your subconscious, a new paradigm could be starting. It can be that you are reviewing your healing. You know, how far have I come in terms of my healing? And how far have I got to go? Over the next 6 months, you can really see a change in your healing, possibly. Now, with the opposition to Pluto when you're sick, this can be something to do with your health. So it's like how your physical health is having an effect on your mental health, a new beginning for your mental health. Or maybe you are connecting to spirit. Maybe you are doing something that's actually helping your physical health. So you could be going and getting Reiki, you could be going to a psychic, you could be going to a spiritual night. After this retrograde is over, you're rethinking, okay, how can I heal? What's my connection to spirit? How can I help my body? And you're being encouraged to do that with Pluto in the 6th house, because you're being encouraged to really focus on your physical health or your work in some way. Something new is starting behind the scenes. This is also the place of hidden enemies. So just be careful with kind of conversations that are going on behind the scenes. Can be a bit, you know, it's the sign of Leo, so we can feel a bit off, especially because Mercury's here, and Mercury's your chart ruler and it's retrograding here. So conversations can feel a bit off. There may be things going on behind the scenes that you didn't know about, or you're involved in something of a private matter, maybe to do with your boss, maybe to do with your healing. Clinics, hospitals, it could be an appointment is coming up to do with health. That's also possible. I want to say, just especially because Mercury's here and it's your chart ruler, it's like you're being forced to address something. You're being forced to address your self-sabotaging behaviours. Your escapism. How do you escape? Do you drink too much? Do you smoke? Well, you know, what are your self-sabotaging behaviours, Virgo? And you might be called to address these with the retrograde here, but there's something new is starting, a new beginning for you. So it could be that you are really focusing on your health because you're having to, for some reason. Or some of you are just healing. You're just healing. But with the opposition to Pluto, it's like you're having to heal. You're having to address something because of other people having an influence on you. You get the Patience card. Everything in moderation. There we go, moderation. This card reminds me that patience will bring me into recognition of and alignment to my purpose. All of my needs are met, even though I may not see it yet in the outer visible world. The angels are looking out for me. Moderation in all things is required right now. You might not be feeling very well. This might be a mental health thing, I would just want to say. It could be that you're really reflecting on something and you're not feeling that great, with the Mercury retrograde especially. So everything in moderation, it's telling you. And just have a bit of patience. I mean, the card actually says patience, so you need to be patient, okay? You don't always need to be doing stuff. I just want to add that, Virgos. You don't always need to be doing stuff. Hard for you, I know. So thanks for watching. Let me know if that resonates, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, so we have Libra. You guys are doing this new moon in Leo in your 11th house. So this is a new beginning for your friendships, the groups that you associate yourself with, or your goals or your aspirations for the future. This is the futuristic house. It's what we're working towards. It's thinking outside the box. It's moving forward. It's also the house of humanitarian projects. So, you know, charity work and stuff can show up here. So the new moon, so there's a new beginning for you here. So it might be that you want to reach a goal, but with the opposition to Pluto, you're having to overcome something. Maybe something with a romantic partner is stopping you reaching that goal. Maybe your aspirations for the future are being held back by your love life, or there's something to do with how you have fun, what you're creating, and how you want to move forward, and there's some tension that you need to work through. The trine to Saturn and Neptune in the 7th house is encouraging you, and it's saying actually maybe maybe there's a new friend coming in that can help you reach a goal that you are looking to reach. The 11th house is our friendship, so it can be a new friendship. It can be the start of something within a friendship group, or the start of something within a community. The 11th house is like the internet and also communities out in the world. So, you know, it can be that if you're part of a spiritualist group, or you're part of a, you know, you go to a gym, any community where there's a lot of people shows up in the 11th house. It could be that you work for an organization and there's a new beginning in this organization. But because Mercury is retrograding here, you're reworking something within this group, whatever it be, whether it's friendship or a group that you work in, you're reworking something here for this new beginning to take place. It could be that you are rethinking, do I want to be friends with these people? Are these people helping me move towards my aspirations? Is this really bringing me joy with the opposition to Pluto in the 5th? Is this really bringing me joy and fun? And if it's not, then we need to let it go. Mercury retrograding, we need to let this friendship go. We need to let this dream go. We need to let this goal go if it's not lighting me up and bringing me joy. There is encouragement from the other outer planets, like I said. Maybe you're working with somebody to reach your goals, or you're just rethinking the people that you hang around with in some way. Could also be that, that you're working for charity, you're doing a charity run or something like that, is possible. But the 11th house is influencing large groups of people. And so there's a new creative idea. You could be brainstorming, how can I influence this group of people? Could be that you're planning a retreat or something like that. How can I influence these people? And it requires a lot of work because it's coming from you. With the opposition to Pluto in your 5th, like maybe you want to create something, but it's not coming that easy. But for some of you, this is just going to be about your friendships. Wow, you get the Call card. It's a very spiritual card. Very spiritual card. Purpose and true prosperity. I have everything I need right now to move forward with purpose. I'm being called into a deeper and more authentic relationship with myself, with my higher power, and with others. I am here for a reason. 11th house is about the collective and really serving humanity. I'm required to step forward into my true self, expressing that through my actions. I need to trust that my life has a purpose, that I am enough, and that within me is a divine blueprint that has meaning for myself and others. Oh, I love that card. It's so beautiful. The 11th house is our aspiration. So it's what you're manifesting. So you may be rethinking where you're headed and what your manifestations are, and that's a part of this. But this is a beautiful new moon. So this is a really good time for you guys to set really, really strong intentions and manifestations that you want to achieve for your future, because this new moon is being supported by all of the outer planets, which are very spiritual and very karmic. So you really need to be setting intentions for your future under this new moon. So good luck, Libra. Let me know how this goes. Exciting for you. So Scorpio and Scorpio rising, you are doing this new moon in Leo in your 10th house of career, public image, reputation, what you're building. This is authorities, what you're creating, basically, what you're working towards. So for some of you, this is going to look like a new career. It could be that you're wanting to do a new job, you're starting a new job, especially with the Mercury retrograde here. It's like you're rethinking how you're showing up. How am I showing up? How am I being seen? Do I want this job? Maybe you're having to have conversations with bosses that can feel a bit challenging, or they're making you feel, because Pluto in the 4th house, you're feeling a bit emotionally heavy around your career or around how you're showing up. There's an element here of you want to show up, but you don't want to, because you can feel uncomfortable showing up, Scorpio. But Leo on the 10th house wants you to shine, and you're like, oh God, I don't want to, because you're a Scorpio. But Pluto in the 4th is like transforming how you feel. It's transforming your inner world, and there's some tension here. So it could be that you're rethinking, okay, how am I showing up in the world in some way? You could be rethinking your relationship status, your public status. You could be rethinking your job. You can have a new job opportunity, like I said, especially with the trines to Saturn and Neptune in your 6th. This can be a job interview. This can be something brewing. It can just be an idea with the Mercury retrograding here. Maybe you're just thinking, okay, what do I want to do for work? And that's what it's part of. But this new moon is starting, and over the next 6 months, it's going to unfold. Sextiling Uranus in your 8th house. This is about you maybe becoming an alchemist or helping others if it's related to career, or working with trading, or working with other people's finances, or working with energy healing. The 8th house is healing us, our psychological wounds. It's the house of psychology. It's the house of transformation. So a new moon in how you show up your career around transformation. That could be relevant. Like I said, you may not move forward with this until the Mercury retrograde is over, but something new is beginning here. This can also have something to do with, I mentioned your relationship status, especially with a sextile to Uranus in your 8th house of intimacy. Mostly for you guys, this will be about your career, your legacy. If you're not working, if you're retired, it's like, okay, well, what am I building towards? What am I putting my energy into? What are my goals? And actually that's what the new moon here is about. Oh, well, you guys get the Tower card. So something is crumbling. Something is crumbling for you, falling down for you, because we've had a lot of major arcana. See, we've had a lot of major arcana cards today, guys, because this new moon is aspecting all the outer planets. So big stuff is happening. The tarot cards know. Surprises. I love how it words this. Things happen really fast when this card shows up in a reading. Its appearance could portend a total paradigm shift or a sudden upheaval that takes something away in order for something better to take its place. It could be that I've had an epiphany. That's the Mercury retrograde. Whatever it is, this card tells me unexpected events will be very interesting and offer opportunities for positive transformation if I remain present with my eyes open. So the Tower card is connected in a way to Scorpio because it is about going through a transformation. Everything's coming down. It's like Pluto, for things to be resurrected. So for a lot of you, it's going to be changes in your jobs, changes in your status, because something better is coming in. Let me know your thoughts on this, guys. I think this is quite an exciting new moon. I'll see you in the next one. Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. You are doing this new moon in your 9th house. This is the house connected to your beliefs, your faith, your higher education, legal matters are relevant, and travel. For a lot of you, this is going to be about how you're thinking at the moment, because so many times, you know, if we're not all traveling under a new moon in the 9th house, although some of you may be. So watch out for travel disruptions with the opposition to Pluto, you know, authorities saying, show me your passport, and you've not got it, you know, things like that can happen. So just watch out for that, especially with the Mercury retrograde. Make sure all of your documents are in place. Same with legal matters. It might be that you're having to sort out some legal matters in some way. Mercury retrograde is asking you to re-sign something, redo something, but try and not sign it until after the retrograde is over. You're having to revisit some sort of legal matter. With the opposition to Pluto, it's affecting your mental health, or that you're having to have difficult conversations. Could also be that you're starting to learn something, you're wanting to do a new course, you're rethinking, okay, what's my education here, what are my qualifications, and you're wanting to learn something new, especially with Pluto in the 3rd. But it could be that you're rethinking this and you're having to deal with some sort of issue where someone's trying to influence you in some way. But for a lot of you, this is going to be just how you're thinking. The 9th house is our faith, our beliefs, our higher vision of the world. It's how we are really just having faith in the higher purpose. Spirituality, this is the house of spirituality, one of the houses of spirituality, as is the 12th. But having faith. So you're rethinking, you know, what are my thoughts about life right now? How do I feel? And this new moon is encouraging you to feel with your heart, to go with your heart. It's Leo, go with your heart. Get out of your head, Pluto, and go with your heart. You go with your gut. You know what is true. You know what is right, and you have to go with that as a new beginning here for your faith. You could be focusing more on having faith because of a situation in your life, on just calling towards your faith. What else did I want to say about this house? Obviously, I mentioned the travel, I mentioned the higher education. Yeah, basically, this is just, a lot of you, it's going to be like faith-based. Publishing. This is also to do with publishing. So if you're on YouTube, if you're on, you know, anything where you're broadcasting or publishing a new beginning here, you might be creating something to broadcast and having to rework the details of it. But with the connection to the outer planets, whatever this is, guys, you are starting something brand new here, and you are being encouraged. There can be changes to relationships. There can be changes to love life and the things that you're creating and how you have fun. But this new beginning is that you're starting something brand new in your worldview, if you're not traveling or if it's not legal matters and all that kind of stuff. You get the 3 of air. This is about your mental health, so it makes sense with Pluto in the 3rd. Sorry, 3 of air. I've clicked on the wrong lemon thing. 3 of air. Silver linings, natural departures, and rejection is God's protection. A third party helps me to see the truth of this situation. This could be an astrologer because it's the 9th house. What is truly mine can never be withheld from me. Rejection is spirit's protection. It's in my best interest to let go and allow for something better to take its place. It is my highest good to see the truth regardless of my temporary discomfort. This too shall pass. So I do feel like for some of you, you know, with Pluto in the 3rd opposing this, there is going to be some sort of discomfort here mentally, but you're working through this, and this is encouraging you to keep going. Speak to friends, speak to therapists, speak to people that are going to help you, speak to a guru. This is also the house of teachers. Speak to people that are going to help you focus on your future and focus on the bigger picture rather than the details of things, okay? And that is what this new moon is telling you. So good luck, Sag. Let me know how it goes, and I'll see you in the next video. Capricorn and Capricorn rising, you are experiencing this new moon in your 8th house. This is a very sensitive house, okay? This is the house of psychology. This is the house of death, rebirth, transformation, other people's money. So for you, this could be quite financial. Just because with the opposition to Pluto in the 2nd, for some of you, this is going to be financial. So with the retrograde here, maybe you're having to pay some money off, pay some debt off, and it's causing you issues with your finances. Maybe you're borrowing money from someone. Money can be coming to you. Excuse me. You're borrowing money from somebody, or you're rethinking your finances. You could be rethinking your joint finances, but there's a lot of pressure here with your financial houses. So you're having to overcome something in terms of joint finances. Could be a new beginning for your partner's money. Maybe your partner's going to be earning some more money from the work that they're doing, or you're having a rethinking process with the Mercury retrograde. After that's over, you may think, right, okay, well, I'm going to start investing, and that can be how that's showing up through investments. But because the 8th houses are joint resources, so it's taxes, investments, inheritance, a new beginning here for you in any of those things. It could be that actually you're coming into some inheritance with the trine to Saturn and Neptune in the 4th house. That's possible. Or you're paying off money connected to things that need doing within your home, or you're rethinking, okay, can I get this mortgage? Can I get this financial agreement done? Just watch out with signing stuff while Mercury is retrograding. Wait until after the 10th to sign any contracts if you can. If you can't, then just make sure that you're reading the fine print really, really carefully. So the 8th house is also our psychology. So this can feel like a really sensitive new moon as you're thinking about your behavior, you're thinking about your thoughts. Okay, why do I feel like this? Why am I thinking like this? And that could be really relevant for some of you. Some of you might be starting therapy or starting, talking to somebody. Mercury is retrograding here, so thinking and maybe going back to a therapist is possible, or just as a new beginning for you and your psychology. Yes, death and rebirth is not going to be very, there's going to be a few of you where you may be experiencing topics of death in some way, hearing about death in some of you, but this can also be metaphorically, something is crumbling for something new to begin. And again, that can also be in terms of your finances. But like I said, for a lot of you, I think this is going to be financial. The 8th house is also connected to a cult. So things to do with psychics, mediums. I've thrown a card out, so I better pick that up. Oh, I've thrown 3 cards out. We can't have them all. I'm going to shuffle them again. So occult practices and taboo topics. Something new could be starting for you here in one of these topics. It could be that you're deciding that you want to go and see a psychic, something like that. But like I said, for a lot of you, I think this is going to be financial, but it can feel quite heavy on the mind. Now, you guys get the High Priestess. Okay. We love to see it. Another major arcana card. Wow, we've had loads of those. Mystery. Some things are not meant to be known intellectually, but are meant to be experienced through intuition. Very 8th house. This card reminds me to trust that I have access to higher wisdom and knowing when I tune in and trust my vibes. This is the time when mysteries will be revealed and I can grow as a result. So the 8th house is a very mysterious house, so that makes sense, and it's about trusting your intuition. So whatever you're going through, make sure you're listening to that inner voice, because it can be very, very magical. So I hope that is useful for you, Capricorn. Let me know if it resonates, and I'll see you in the next video. Aquarius and Aquarius rising, you are experiencing this new moon in Leo in your 7th house of one-on-one partnerships, contracts and agreements. You may be rethinking a partnership at this time. Some of you are having to go back over or have a conversation with a partner about something. If you're dating, you may be rethinking the person that you're dating. If you're in a relationship, they could be kind of annoying you, or you're rethinking this relationship. But for the most part, this is going to be that something new is coming for you in this house after the retrograde. So a new beginning for a partner. Maybe they're experiencing something new. It can be anything to do to do with their lives, anything. But there's a bit of a power struggle with Pluto in your first, because you're wanting to take control, and there's a bit of a push and pull on who's right and who's in the lead here. So just watch out for power struggles, because something is starting with a partnership. Can be a romantic partner, or like I said, it can just be any significant relationship in your life, and you're having to work through compromise. This can be a child, sextile Uranus in the 5th house, a new beginning for a child, something new happening in a child's life, something new happening with a partner, and it's about conversation and communication with the trine to Saturn and Neptune in your 3rd. You're having to communicate. This can be something to do with a parent. It can be maybe you're meeting up with somebody that you've not seen for ages, a best friend, a parent, somebody that you've not seen for ages. That can also be possible. Reviewing contracts, a new beginning in terms of business partnerships, or the people that you work with can also be possible, because the Mercury retrograde is like you're revisiting something. Maybe you're having to revisit a contract or rethink, do I want to be working one-on-one with this person? You could be revisiting a therapist or an astrologer or somebody that you work with during this retrograde, and that's what the new moon is, a new beginning for you and this other person in some way. That's simply how it can show up. Or it can just be in your partner's life, something new is brewing. The 7th house is very much about other people and less about us, but with the opposition to Pluto in your 1st, you're having to compromise and work through something, and you can be quite stubborn, both of you. So just something to note. You get the King of Air, so this very much could be you. Aquarius, you are an air sign. So let me just read what it says. King of Air. If we can find the King. Okay. Intellectual authority, reason over instinct, intellect over passion, and successful negotiation, rules and law. So this really is about like working with other people and communicating. I want to say communicating is really important, especially with the Mercury retrograde in Leo. Are you communicating from a place of your ego, or are you communicating effectively? Truth is everything. I think before I act. I work the universal laws with clear intention. Do I see how the foundations of the past affect the present and the future? So this is a very thought-based card. So it really is about collaborating with other people and just making sure that you really are doing that communication. But you are having a lot of support from the outer planets. So there's something new starting here with you and a partner in some way. And it's going to be really significant over the next 6 months. So let me know your thoughts on that, Aquarius. Does that resonate at all? And I'll see you in the next one. Pisces and Pisces rising, you are experiencing this new moon in Leo in your 6th house. This is your health, your work, your routines, your pets, your schedules. Now, for some of you, this is going to be very much health related. With the opposition to Pluto in your 12th, it's like, okay, how are you releasing self-sabotaging tendencies that are affecting your health? And this new moon is going to highlight this for you, and you're going to be rethinking things to do with your health. What am I eating? What am I putting in my body? And how is this affecting my mental health? Or how are my self-sabotaging tendencies really affecting my physical health? And you're being called to start something new here in terms of your health, Pisces. And we all know that you can fall towards escapism. Pluto in your 12th is asking you to release the tendency and the need to escape from the world. And this could be having an effect on your health in some way. It could be that there's an issue with your health around this time, especially with Mercury retrograding here. Maybe you are feeling poorly, and this is giving you a bit of a wake-up call around the things I've just mentioned. Sextile to Uranus in your 4th is maybe there's some changes going on with the home, and this is why you're having to address your health in some way. But this could also be work related. So there could be a new beginning for your work or your schedules, a new time frame, a new time you're starting work, a new job. Maybe you're rethinking your job because of changes going on with the home, or maybe you're rethinking your job because of things going on behind the scenes. Maybe there's some things going on and you're having to work through limiting beliefs when it comes to your work. Do I enjoy my schedules? Am I being valued? Am I shining, Leo? And how can I let go of my limiting beliefs when it comes to my work and really understand that I deserve more? Especially with the trine to Saturn and Neptune in your 2nd house, it's like, okay, where do I deserve more? What are my values? What's important to me? Where do I deserve more in terms of my work, my schedules, my health, my routines? Pets can also come up here, a new beginning for pets. It could be a trip to the vets. You know, I don't want to say, with the opposition to Pluto in the 12th, I don't want to say anything bad. For some of you, it could be that you're healing issues to do with pets, or there's, you know, maybe a vet is telling you have to go and spend this amount of money. All that kind of stuff can come up, especially with Saturn and Neptune in the second. Yeah, spending money on pets is possible. But with the opposition to Pluto, there's a challenge here. Okay, there's a challenge for you, and it's about you overcoming your limiting beliefs, you overcoming your tendencies to self-sabotage and escape, whether it's affecting your work, whether it's affecting your routines, whether it's affecting your pets. There's something here with this opposition to Pluto, and you're being encouraged to start something new, to value yourself and to lead from a place of authenticity, from your heart. If it's work related, it's like, okay, well, what actually lights me up? And there can be a new beginning here for you around what lights you up, but it's probably not going to start until after the retrograde process is over. You get the Ace of Water. Interesting. You are a Pisces. I think this is the first water card that we have had come out. I'm going to read you the positive affirmation, if I can find it. Unconditional love, overflowing abundance, and the fertility of love. So I feel like this is, the aces are new beginnings. Okay, so there is something new starting here for you, but you have to pay attention. I am filled with love from spirit and joyously let it flow out to others. Where it fertilizes the seeds of co-creation, love gives me hope, shining brilliant light in all the possibilities available to me. I am optimistic about bringing dreams into being. Spirit always informs me and guides me, allowing me to illuminate the darkest of places. Okay, so that's a very encouraging card, and it is saying to you that you can have the new beginning that you desire in terms of your health, and you're being encouraged and loved by spirit. So that's a really positive card. Something new is starting. This is an important new moon because of the aspects to all of the outer planets. So let me know your thoughts, Pisces. How do you feel about this new moon? Can you feel the energy coming in? Does any of that make sense? And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give the video a like, thumbs up, drop me a comment. How did this land for you? And don't forget to do readings as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.